Good Yontif, everyone. Doubt and confusion as to the future of Israel and the Jewish people. The mood of despair so general today. Corruption of our essential institutions. And the contemporary crisis in seeking courage and hope. These themes have been incorporated into sermons spoken by our esteemed rabbis from this very bima in recent years. Although the actual words I just read were from high holiday sermon teasers that Rabbi Milton Steinberg sent to the Park Avenue Synagogue community and subsequently preached about in 1938. What I found interesting was how similar the world was and things were 87 years ago as compared to things today. War in Europe, prevalent anti-Semitism, questions about the roles of institutions, personal anxieties and uncertainties, and I could go on. This repeating nature brings to mind the infinity symbol, a figure 8 lying on its side, a reminder that history itself often has familiar patterns and re-emerging events. And like and with the Hebrew phrase Lador Bador, from generation to generation, they both portray a sense of continuity, interconnectedness of the generations, and the unbroken chains of tradition. To be clear, I am not trying to equalize the times in 1938 with those of today. Rabbi Steinberg's sermons were spoken just in advance of World War II, the Holocaust, and before Israel was even a state. The risks facing the Jewish people then were both severe and catastrophic. However, I do believe the risks facing the Jewish people and the state of Israel today are also very real and very significant. And while there are many great institutions doing amazing things for Jews and Judaism around the world, I contend that synagogues in general, but PAS specifically, is uniquely positioned. Like the center of the infinity symbol, with Park Avenue Synagogue at the core, doing for others, but also being here for us, providing education, strength, comfort, and the inspiration to take action. The Park Avenue of 1938 was just over 50 years young, with 350 member families, and was under the clergy leadership of the esteemed Rabbi Milton Steinberg. It was also in the middle of the leadership term of Chairman Jacob Friedman, a term that lasted 30 years, and the thought of which makes me lose sleep at night. The PAS of today is the leading Upper East Side conservative synagogue, approaching 150 years, and with more than 2,000 member families, and on any given Friday night and Saturday morning, hundreds of people are in person for services, and thousands more participate with us across our multiple platforms. Our membership, B'nai Mitzvot, Congregational School, and Early Childhood Center programs are all at record or near record levels, and our members continue to engage in all that we offer. Our clergy is world-class under the leadership of Rabbi Cosgrove and Zuckerman, with Rabbis Zosmer and Pink, and with Cantor Schwartz, with Cantors Davis and Reisner. Park Avenue Synagogue is providing thought and musical leadership across America and around the world. We are incredibly blessed and grateful for all that you do for us every day. Thank you. But I, as chairman, have a unique perspective, one that gives me a window into some things that are quite remarkable but not apparent to most. To touch on a few: commitment, compassion, and community. First, the commitment of our clergy, staff, and educators is exceptional. In addition to our clergy, Rabbi Sampson leads a thriving education program for our youth from birth through college, and Rabbi Kaufman oversees our adult education and travel programming. And in charge of everything non-programmatic and prayer is our executive director, Valerie Russo. Valerie's impact and that of the entire team is unparalleled, with an unending commitment to our members and community, and done so with the highest level of professionalism. Give you one example of one of our rabbis in one weekend led 3 Shabbat services, 2 bar mitzvahs, officiated at a wedding, a funeral, and a baby naming. And when I observed his commitment, he merely said with a smile, "It's the profession I chose, and I love it." And I am happy to announce that the honoree for the upcoming spring gala is that rabbi, our own Rabbi Zuckerman, who is sitting downstairs. So please come. Very well deserving. Second, the impact of our compassion is deep and far-reaching. Of course, our clergy is great at life cycle events, helping us celebrate the happy moments and consoling and counseling us during the sad moments. But the addition of a full-time social worker to our staff several years ago has greatly extended the compassion, support, and resources we can offer our members. In addition to programming for our 70-plus community, we have also had a great response from the creation of bereavement groups, communities of people caring for those with dementia, and helping people navigate the world of aides and nurses to care for our aging members and their families. And finally, we have an incredibly supportive community. You can see many of the names on our website, including those of our committed Board of Trustees, Advisory Council, honorary trustees who have led and continue to lead this institution to this day. I am incredibly grateful to my officer partners, Erica Friedman, Paula Gindel, and Lauren Klein, Melissa Raskin, Stephanie Katz-Rothman, and Andrew Siegel, and our president, Lizzie Marcus. Thank you for all that you do for this institution, some of which you can see and some of which you cannot. And then there are many who commit and do for PAS, whose names are not on the website, whose efforts are not visible or known to most, but are of great impact. Members who offer their expertise, legal, real estate, design, construction, financial, communications, networking, real estate, healthcare, and so much more. And there are those who offer financial support through 6- and 7-figure gifts, which are in addition to their Kol Nidrei contributions, often without even being asked, for programs that educate our youth in the fight against anti-Semitism, upgraded speaker series, investments in our youth education, and often with no defined designation. These members all do for Park Avenue without asking for anything in return. And as my children like to say, IYKYK. If you know, you know. We do, and we are appreciative. Last and of most critical importance is the financial support that all of you provide to the Kol Nidrei appeal. The program we offer and the impact we have is deep and far-reaching, and it only happens through your contributions. As fiduciaries of this institution, we are committed to operating at a break-even level, and it's the Kol Nidrei appeal that enables us to fund the approximately 25% portion of our budget not covered by membership and tuition. This past year, we had record Kol Nidrei support, and I would ask you to again, please show your support. Which reminds me of a story. There were 2 beggars sitting on either side of a walkway leading up to a church. One had a large cross on his chest, and the other a large Star of David. And as they walked by, many people looked at both beggars, but only put money into the hat of the beggar wearing the cross. A priest approached the beggar with the Star of David and said, "Forgive me for saying this, but perhaps you'd have better luck at the synagogue down the street." The beggar with the Star of David looked towards his fellow beggar with the cross, and he yelled, "Hey, Moishi, look who's trying to tell us how to run our business." Fortunately for us, we don't have to beg. Okay, all of you want to support Park Avenue, and for that we are incredibly appreciative. My ask for you, both of our members and also for our extended online community, is to again make Park Avenue one of your top philanthropic priorities. And if you've never supported us before, please consider doing so for the first time. In all cases, thank you. We couldn't do it without you. But while our near-term needs are supported through your generous support of the Kol Nidrei appeal and other donations, we have generational needs as well, so that the loops of infinity may continue. These needs include refreshing this beautiful sanctuary, which will soon celebrate its 100th year as the home for our prayer and reflection. We want to grow and scale our programs to provide and expand our impact, and we want to enhance our endowment to help us persist, grow, and thrive for another 150 years. The first step towards this end is the launch of our L'Ador V'Ador Circle, our planned giving initiative. We ask you to please consider including Park Avenue Synagogue in your estate planning. The good news is you don't have to pay anything now. You only need to tell us that you've included or intend to include Park Avenue Synagogue in your estate plans. Okay, and you can decide on the amounts when you actually create or update your documents. But by doing so, you're showing your commitment to support this beloved institution for generations to come. Which reminds me of another story. Izzy was a very wealthy man who was late in his years, and he wanted to bring his wealth with him to heaven. So he was granted an exception to the rules, because obviously that's not allowed, and he was allowed to bring one suitcase with him, a suitcase that he filled with gold bricks. The day finally came when Izzy arrived in heaven, suitcase beside him, and upon opening the suitcase to check its contents, an angel looked at Izzy and he pointed down to the yellow gleaming sidewalk and he said, "I'm confused. You were allowed to bring any of your worldly goods with you, so why did you choose to bring pavement?" Think about it. Okay, you can't take it with you. Please consider entrusting us to further your legacy and help us continue to do good. I want to conclude where I began, with the image of the interconnected loops of infinity with PAS at its center. And while a well-quoted animated space ranger is fond of saying, "to infinity and beyond," I actually prefer to think of it as infinity and back, signifying the repetition of the cycles, the interconnectedness of the generations, and Park Avenue's commitment to the Jewish people, to you, and to your families. And on behalf of the officers and board of trustees of the synagogue, I wish everyone a Shana Tova Umituka, a good and sweet year, and Gamar Chatima Tova, may you be written and sealed in the book of life. And I pray for a year of health and peace for you and your families, for our brothers and sisters in Israel, and for Israel herself. Good Yom Tov, and thank you.